Hey, good morning, everybody. Michael Rathburn here with the DFS Minute this morning for May 11, 2015. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Celebrate Mother's Day with your mothers, with your wives, with your grandmothers, everybody. It was a great weekend. And so we're back at it again today, Monday morning. You can hit me up on Twitter at FantasyWrath. Any advice, questions? I've been getting hit up with a lot of advice questions, and the best thing I can advise you to do is head over to rotocurve.com and hit the forums, and then go into the baseball area, and then go down to the bottom, create an account, and then post the topic or the question that you have, and that way there, not only myself or Benny or Josh or any of the readers, our users can kind of hop in and have a group discussion on it. So definitely that would be the best way to go as far as if you have any advice on a specific topic. Definitely hit us up in the forums. That way there we can open up the discussion. You can get a number of different opinions and views and get the best advice out there and the best insight in DFS. Cover the weekend. There are a lot of qualifiers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A lot of them with big entry amounts, and it's kind of the same kind of group of guys that are winning. But the good thing is that Fantasy Aces does have an alternative, which I played in on Friday night. And basically we're going to have to call this guy Mr. Fantasy Aces, because he qualifies for every single live event that they have, and he won the last one, which was basketball. And that's Rath, who happens to be my neighbor and a buddy of mine. And so for him to take down the Friday night qualifier in Fantasy Aces with a ridiculous lineup, almost 100 points, with a mini stack of Washington kind of a half stack Washington, and I believe he had some Padres in there. He had Lincecum, which was just a crazy lineup. And it looked, he kind of came from behind late with Lincecum, I think, with Spagenberg. And just the Washington game was absolutely nuts. There was a lot of people that had players in that game. But so great shout out to Thad, and he's going back to Newport Beach, California. Love to be able to join him. Hopefully I'm going to continue to fire away at these Aces qualifiers. But it definitely has given me some insight. I've been looking back at the previous weeks and kind of how to attack these things. And I definitely feel that, it's at a point now where if you're not stacking in qualifier, then you might as well not play. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that in a strategic way. Is you do need to stack. I don't really care what anybody says. You need to stack, and you preferably need to have multiple entry. Again, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that's the strategy. So if you're going to play one entry a week in some of these things, your best bet is to probably put 4 or 5 in 1 week and take a shot, because at least on Aces, you can get some money back and then use that money towards future entries. So, and then the other guy Friday night, which I'm really glad to see win, is Tommy G won the Playboy qualifier over on FanDuel, and I'm excited to see him win and go out there and represent the industry. It's always good when a guy like that hits a seat and can definitely use the platform that he has on Scout and SiriusXM to help, bring attention to that. And so it's always good to see that. So I'm happy for Tommy. And so that was good. Good to see those two guys take down and win some seats. Some really interesting performances over the weekend. Friday night, Jared Weaver, complete game shutout, which, look, it's the Houston Astros, and it's going to happen. They're going to put up 10 one night, and they're going to strike out a ton and put up 0 the next night. So that was just interesting to see that a guy that's been basically lit up by everybody go out there and throw a complete game shutout. And that kind of goes into what's been going on with starting pitching. We're now 5 weeks into the season, and there's a lot of grumblings about ace pitchers not living up to potential and things like that. And look, it's still early. It's still 5 weeks into the season. Let's see how things play out. But yeah, for sure, it's been tough. It's tough. It seems like, aces are getting lit up in the first, second, third inning, and then your whole night is gone in the toilet. So, just be aware that we only have 5 weeks of data. I've been putting up some articles on rotowire.com, and, so let's still, ride the course. Let's stick with what we know has worked in the past over the last 2 or 3 years, and continue to grind away. I'm not going to jump off the aces bandwagon so soon. But, it's definitely something to take a look at when you got a guy like Chris Archer that goes out there and gets blown up, and the next night a guy like Nate Carnes goes out and pitches a gem. That's really tough to to predict, and it just kind of goes to show you the volatility in baseball from a day-to-day perspective, and how things can play out. But, you know, you had Kershaw get lit up yesterday again. You know, again, granted, the game was at Coors Field, but I did see that a lot of people still did take him. So it's just something where you can't blindly take these ace pitchers. You have to be selective in the spots that you take them, and we'll talk about a few of those guys later on today. Quick on the pricing, the Dodgers prices have come down on FanDuel, which is good to see. So it looks like the algorithm is definitely looking at games in Coors Field and bumping those players up, and then when they come off of Coors Field, it's bringing them back down, so you get the adjustment, which is good. On DraftKings, we're going to hit 3 ups, 3 downs. Looks like the ups are the A's, the Nationals, and the Blue Jays. I'm a little curious about the A's. I know it's Porcello. Porcello's actually pitched pretty good, and it's in Oakland, so I'm a little bit curious as to why those salaries did go up. And then down is the Dodgers, okay, coming off of Coors. Looks like White Sox and Yankees have come down as well. So just be aware of some of those pricing adjustments. On DraftKings, definitely, take into consideration when you're building lineups tonight. 3 guys that definitely jump off the board to me from a starting pitching standpoint. And we do have sort of an abbreviated slate. We don't have a full slate today, but I think it's good enough to where we can play. No day games, which is good. Just got to be careful of weather, especially in the month of May. Garrett Cole -170, but on the road at Philly against Jerome Williams, total 7.5. I know Cole didn't look great the last time out, but the guy's been one of the most consistent pitchers in baseball over the last year and a half. So it's really tough for me to get off that Cole bandwagon. I know the Phillies, have some guys there on the left-handed side, but I think the way that Garrett Cole, you just have to continue to fire bullets with the guys that you know are the ones to go with. Zach Greinke is probably going to be the #1 play on the board for me, at least, -210, and with a total of 7 against Miami and Kohler. Gotta love Greinke at home. He's just been a monster. And then Kazmir is a 130 favorite at home with a 7.5 total against Boston. Porcello. That number does feel low to me. Would not be surprised if we see that number get bumped up a little bit, especially the way the Red Sox have been playing. Wouldn't shock me if there's some money coming in on Oakland today and Kazmir. And then the other one is Max Scherzer, who's a heavy favorite today as well. So definitely, you've got some pitching options today. Let's see what happens with lineups and what comes out. We've got sort of an abbreviated DFS minute today. Mainly because it's just a matter of what news is out there and what's to talk about. Definitely going to hit you back later on tonight with a DFS Minute PM edition, give you some recommendations on some value plays and where I think the whole landscape is where you can go tonight and hopefully put up some winning lineups. So we're going to hit you back tonight around 6:30 and abbreviated slate. So hope we can get these lineups in, get some picks in. And as we always say here at Roto Curve and the DFS Minute, stay classy, DFS.